I used to watch all these like made for TV Disney movies, and I think there was one called like Mom Swap Meet.
I think that's actually a porno you watched. I don't think that has anything to do with Disney.
Mom
Yeah, I think
Swaps
what-
Meet.
Swap meet, huh?
I don't.
I really hope there's been a
in
porn
that.
that's involved.
For
swap
sure
meet.
there is, dude. It's too
I hope
easy.
so.
Skipping through the adverts.
Hey, welcome back to Chance and Better Live. Just gonna go through that whole thing again. I'm Chance, as always. I'm here with my partner in crime, Penner. Penner, how you doing?
Thanks, just in crime though.
Just in
That's what I
crime.
said before, I had to keep the.
We'll leave it at
Same
just
joke.
breaking the law because that was such a genius.
I worked for
line
months
right
on
there.
that joke and not response, so I really had to nail it that second time, or else,
Dude,
my-
you nailed it so hard that you fooled me that I didn't feel like we had already done that before. So
You're like, that's
quite
a new
impressive.
joke. It's so funny that I can hear it 2 times, and
Yeah.
it's still funny.
I thought it was so funny that I chose to go with my non-funny joke and do that the same way. So that, there's always that. That's why we work so well. Hey, so we're coming down to the wire of Halloween. It's in 1 week. We're going to recap tonight and close the loop on what we established way back in August when we first talked about Horrorfest and some of the stuff we're watching. We're going to catch up on that. But I also wanted to recap a little bit of Dave, and I'm putting you on the spot here. But Dave, you went to Halloween Horror Nights recently. And I think it would be a perfect transition into the show to talk a little bit about that. How was it, dude? I've always wanted to go.
It was great, man. I went last year. Last year was actually my first time going. It's one of those things where ever since I was 17, I think we were we got to go to Horror Nights, but then it was way more expensive than Knott's, so we never went. We only did Knott's.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome. This year they had some really, really great mazes that I was stoked about. There was a Last of Us maze that was really good. Stranger Things season 4 maze. My personal favorite was they had a Chucky maze that was pretty awesome. It was you could tell the thing about Knott's, the way Knott's does it, everything's relatively across the board, pretty good. The mazes are but Universal's you could tell what mazes got all the budget. Some mazes were
Yeah.
oh, that was okay, and then other ones were dang, they put all the they went all out with Chucky. But they had it was super meta. You went into these sections and then you would move into the next section, and then a screen would just be Chucky talking to you, just being that was pretty good, right? Well, this time I'm gonna kill people, but Christmas themed. And then you walk in the next one and it's just people getting lit up on a Christmas tree, and he's pissing in someone's mouth.
Dude, that sounds like classic.
Actually,
Chucky.
I don't know if it was pissing. Maybe he was gurgling water in someone's mouth, but my brain just switched it. Anyway, yeah, it was pretty fun though. They always do the horror tram, the terror tram, which was fun. This year was just bug themed. They're just massive bugs everywhere, just that had chainsaws for some reason.
Dude, that's awesome.
So yeah, and then I got to see. We went a little earlier at 2 p.m. I got to see Super Nintendo World for the first time. So that was a little off-brand from Halloween, but it was awesome doing that because apparently no one bought that, because we walked in and there was 8 people in the entire park, and there's just full staff everywhere, and they're hey guys, do whatever you want. So it was kind of fun just wandering around, super immersive. I was super impressed by it. We ate in the restaurant, just walked onto the ride. So that was cool.
That's awesome. I've been 3 times to Super Nintendo World, and I could barely move each time. And even
that's what I heard from everybody. Yeah.
Even then, it was still awesome. I tried to do single rider for the Mario Kart, and the single rider alone was over an hour. So I was I'll come back less. But yeah, that thing's gonna be popular for a while, man. Universal's doing the dang thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was really fun. I recommend Horror Nights. What I learned though is it's all about timing, because you can buy the super ridiculous passes $300 where you get an automatic entry to all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not a millionaire quite yet, so I couldn't afford that one. But if you time it right, it works out, because if you go for $10, you can upgrade to starting at 5:30.
Nice.
So you can just hit all the big rides right away. You can go downstairs that area, hit all those, and then come back up. So it ends up working out, but it's it was fun.
Did you go through the Wizarding World at all? Did you see the Death Eaters? And I've seen some vlogs where people kind of go through the mazes. It's funny because Universal Hollywood will allow people to film in the houses, but they won't in Florida, which I don't really understand the breakdown there and why it's so different. You'd think that they'd want all that, but yeah, it's always something I've been wanting to do. I've heard that if you don't pay for the front of the line pass, it's not worth it, but that's good to know that there's kind of a loophole there.
Yeah, it takes some strategic planning, I feel like, which is a little bit annoying, but yeah, it's fun though. Like I didn't get to do all the mazes, but I got to do all the ones I was like more excited about. So
awesome. And then we're doing Knott's Scary Farm tomorrow night, which I'm pretty excited about. I've seen it's really crazy. Knott's Scary Farm out, and I go to Knott's all the time. My daughter loves it. We go after I get off work and there's nobody there, so she kind of gets the run of the park. I've talked about that before. But Knott's this year, because it's the 50th anniversary of Scary Farm, created a store basically, but they're calling it the Haunt Museum, and they took one of their stores in the marketplace, which is out front in front of Knott's, like it's their downtown Disney, which it's super quaint. It's not like downtown Disney at all, but it's their downtown Disney, and they created the most elaborate just sets, and they've emulated popular horror houses from the previous years. The different Elvira hosted one year. It started with a guy named Seymour. I forgot, he's got like a horror host name, but he was a guy in the 70s, in the late 60s and 70s, that did like a horror host, like public domain or public access TV show. And the whole Knott's thing started with him because he appeared as the horror host. So I'm excited to go. All that rambling to say, I'm excited to go. They have a house called Slasher. And since, the opposite of Halloween Horror Nights gets all the awesome IPs. Knott's has a maze this year called Slasher, and it's their take on all the popular horror slashers from the different decades, and it looks amazing. So I'm really excited to go. Knott's has got a nice influx of money into their Scary Farm this year, so I'm pretty excited about it.
And I'm gonna say too, I haven't been to Knott's either in a while, so
Me neither.
I'm excited to go. I think it was pre-pandemic that we went the last time, but we used to go all the time when we were younger. But like, I will say, like, Horror Nights has a lot of the fancy, like you said, the fancy IPs, but Knott's definitely has the best scare areas, because like there aren't necessarily designated areas. Like Universal is very like, go here to be scared this way.
Yeah.
But Knott's is like anything goes, dude. Like you could be assaulted by a monster at any point.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. Like if you want to be actually scared, like I recommend it for sure.
Well, and as we talked about before, Knott's is the one haunt where the monsters will stop you mid-scare and assess how they're doing that year,
They might do that.
And this
also,
year, you're the perfect person to ask because you'll have context for both.
Yeah, that was really my goal. I really look to be the person to ask in all situations. But
yeah.
But like another awesome thing, like I'm excited for. I hope they're still doing the whole thing where what do they call it? Like the knee things that they slide on or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The monsters, like they'll just start flying at you 40 miles an hour, like skating on their knees or whatever.
Sparks flying.
Yeah, sparks are just flying everywhere.
We were there one year where somebody slid on their knees and took their legs out from under them, like one of the people there, and just took them out. And it was such a shocking thing.
Knott's is less regulated, dude. And for a lot of people, that's what you want, dude. That's like you might be in 5% genuine danger at any point.
I'm excited to go. Hopefully I'm not just an old man and gonna get tired, but I got plans for that,
I mean, we're old men, but you just gotta own it, I guess.
I'm gonna bring a bunch of cocaine with me so that I can just at certain parts of the night just get amped up,
That's what you got to do to not feel old. You go like with all the Gen Z kids, but you go way harder than them. You just bring coke, heroin, and then you seem like the guy. They're like, oh, they're like, who is this?
Who's this animal?
Oh.
Who's this animal that? Yeah, even Gen Z kids are probably like, cocaine's bad for you.
Yo, I got a babysitter tonight.
I'm going crazy. It's like, have you ever seen the movie The Night Before with Seth Rogen and
oh yeah,
dude, it's like that where his wife's like, you've been so good with raising our kid, like I bought you a bag of drugs, and that's what, dude, I love it. Vince, you remember seeing that movie when we tried to go to a screening of the new Kevin Smith movie and they were sold out, so we ended up going to The Night Before and just like laughed our asses off at that movie.
Yeah, it was. We had no idea what we're going to see, and then we got there, and I feel like all the crowd, like everyone in the theater, was freaking out. It was such a good movie. That's a new Christmas classic for me for sure.
It's definitely one I
Wow.
watch each year. Yeah, I mean, there's some,
That's high
especially
praise.
now that I'm a little bit older, I appreciate it even more. But all right, cool. So that kind of catches us up with what we've been doing for Halloween. Now let's talk a little horror fest, boys. I know Vince, come back, Vince, come back with your
I'm
shitty
back.
camera.
I'm back. Hello.
So
My shitty camera. We moved. That's why we took a break.
Vince, you look like you've been getting some sun.
Yeah,
over there.
it's
look a little red.
I'm nervous. I also got a beer in me, and I
Why are you
also
so
was
bashful,
wearing.
dude.
It's a shitty camera. I was wearing a beanie and just was sweating, so that had to come off. Plus the
Vince,
beer.
it looks
doesn't
like
help.
you have a red camera, but not in like the sense of like like the good red camera. It just feels like it just is a red filter.
I got it on Amazon and it said it was a red camera, but
Yeah,
completely
from
different
China.
reason.
What do you guys? Real quick, what are you guys gonna be for Halloween? Do you guys have costumes?
Oh,
I do not. I don't have a costume. I'm gonna be on trick or treat patrol that night.
You're just looking ahead for Christmas, dude. I know. You're just.
You can
you're
see
already
the
on
tree sparkling in the reflection of his.
Dude, I'm settled into horror. Like I've been
You
enjoying.
can. Oh my god.
I've been enjoying the freaking like now we're getting to the end of October and Halloween's coming and now's all the time for all the classic slashers and all the like this is the time of like I'm not adventurous so much around this time of October. I'm like where's all the like comfort movies, slasher, horror, where's the Michael Myers, the Krugers, the Chuckies, all that fun stuff.
Including like Nightmare Before Christmas and like this is where we just watched Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Oh, I love it.
Like
love
this
it
is
so
where
much.
I'm getting like the stuff that makes me feel like it's Halloween,
Yeah.
and we've been pumping
Dude.
those out, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's a good one. Yeah, that was last year, right? Or was it 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago, but that's every year, man. I bust that thing out and like,
It's so
force it
good.
on Callie.
That was my
I
first
give
time seeing
I give
it.
Muppets Haunted Mansion a minus because Kermit's voice is just hard to get over. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's so good.
Luckily, Kermit's not really the focal point of that movie, which
Yeah.
is like works in its favor for sure.
It's my man Pepe, who's one of my favorite Muppets.
Pepe
Dude.
is so good in that movie. It's so
He's
funny.
always good, dude. Pepe's like the real true comic relief of the modern Muppets, dude. Like him and Gonzo together are like a classic 2-man team.
And he's like, didn't he? He only came in like the '90s or something, right? Or what?
Yeah.
It was like somewhat.
I think
somewhat
Muppets in
lately.
Space was the first one that Pepe like starred prominently in.
That's funny.
But yeah. So that's a perfect segue. So let's get into like, what are we watching? What are you guys watching? I know Vince is like, man, what day are you on of watching a horror movie every day?
Day 85. And Paige is
Dang.
secretly calling me out because I haven't finished every single one, but I've started them. I
Oh,
go
that
to
doesn't
sleep
count,
watching
bro.
them. Anything
gotta-
that I haven't finished, the next day I'll go and like I'll finish it while the day's going and I'll watch it.
Oh, that counts then.
Yeah,
As
definitely.
long as you finished it, it counts.
I'm blowing through it, man. Day 85. I started to mix in. There's the new Netflix TV show, The House of Usher. I've been throwing those
Fall of
on,
the House
dude.
of Usher.
Oh man, which I
I
never.
thought it was about Usher and the singer. And I
Usher,
was very
yeah.
disappointed.
It's about Usher's fall. It's a documentary about the fall
comes
of
in at the
Usher's
end.
heyday.
He called his house Usher. Wow. Okay, I'll go with it.
So I'm a whole house now. I've gone beyond just being a person.
Well, in the Mike Flanagan realm, I started Midnight Mass, which is a
dude.
trip.
Dude, oh yeah, you never watched it.
I
dude.
never watched it, dude.
Dude,
I've been
love Midnight Mass.
That's my
I've been
number one.
behind in the Mike Flanagan world. I watched Hill House. I never watched. What was the other one? The Haunting of Blythe Manor.
Bly Manor, yeah.
Yeah.
Bly Manor.
That one was okay.
I never watched
Which,
Midnight
which is
Club.
based on an old late 50s film called The Haunting.
Oh no!
Oh, okay.
Really,
Yeah.
dude? I didn't know that. I love
Hill
The
House
Haunting.
is also based on a movie. I can't think of the title right now.
Yeah, well, there was the Haunting of Hill House that I think.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Who's the guy? Vincent Price. I had to say Vince's name to remember.
I was like, oh, who is it?
Yeah, no, loved Haunting of Hill House. I haven't watched Bly Manor. Everybody I've talked to that's seen that is like, it's not as good. And I'm like, okay. And I'm maybe a little bit affected by that. But Mike Flanagan, dude,
Yeah,
like
it's pretty good though.
that dude's pretty dope.
Yeah, I would say my least favorite of all of the ones he's done is the Midnight Club.
Mhm.
Wasn't
No,
my
no
favorite. And then based off of that, I would say, which also the one that's airing right now is also a remake. I didn't know it was an old movie or a play or something.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I would say this
It
one's
makes
probably
sense
going
that
to
it's a
be.
play. It
Yeah.
does seem like a play.
This one's probably be my second least favorite, but Midnight Mass, 100%, dude. I almost wanted to watch that again this year.
Apparently, with
so good.
Suicide Club, there was a lot of production issues. I found that out later because, like, when you get to the end, it's kind of like certain things don't seem like they completely concluded, and then apparently it was like they ran just tons of issues where it was like, I don't know, but yeah, yeah, this one for me is like I only watched 2 episodes so far, but like it's been a little harder for me to get into because it's so like talky.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of like almost all of his stuff.
So you're 2 episodes in the House of Usher,
Yeah,
dude. What'd you
Not
think?
Usher.
What'd you think of the disco orgy scene, dude? No spoilers.
Dude, no spoilers.
No spoilers, but Disco Orgy
Damn it.
may or may not be in.
I know exactly what that is now.
I know how to get Eli into the show. So I'm watching
Yeah,
it.
it's
Upsetting.
yeah, it was pretty cool. There was some wild stuff. It's one of those things where it's like almost like Lost, where there's so many questions you have of like what's gonna happen, where you know certain things ahead of time because it's obviously being told to you, and then you like flash back to it.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
just wondering
interesting.
like how good it's gonna be once it all comes together. But
Yeah, which I hope it is. It is interesting when a story starts and he's like, "This is how all my kids died," and then you
Yeah,
know that it's
you're
like everyone in the show, and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Damn it,
well,
dude.
everyone's dead. Okay.
Now I know everybody's dead and there's an orgy with dead bodies, apparently.
But
I
they
don't
say
know.
he says that in the first like 15 minutes though, the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
All my kids are dead.
So my least favorite part of the show, and she was my least favorite part of the Midnight Club, Ruth Codd. The weird,
Who
like
is that?
she's like the weird looking Russian girl. She's the one without with a prosthetic leg.
Oh, she's Irish, right?
Irish, yes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Wait.
She's not American, and I don't like her. She's my least favorite.
I would love to have a video of 10 people speaking 10 different languages and just see what
all Russian.
language he thought they were speaking.
That's
We should
Russian
do
for
that.
sure.
We're all okay. Vince, guess the language. Like someone says one sentence, in another language. Vince, guess the language.
Dude,
Done.
I'm terrible with accents, and that means like me doing them, and then also me processing where those accents are coming from. Can't do it.
Yeah, I liked her in Suicide Club. I thought she was like apparently she has super minimal acting experience like before Suicide Club.
Okay.
But in this one, I didn't. Yeah, I thought she seemed a little bit like miscast, like out of place a little bit.
It definitely for the role that they put her in. But that being said, there's scenes where I'm like, well, she's actually a really good actress. I just don't like her.
Like personally, as a
Personally,
human.
yeah, I don't like
Well,
everything that's happening.
I know you've written her a few notes, a few letters about how much you hate her, but give her a break, dude. I mean, I'm sure she's a nice person.
I tweet her daily, but I end it with like, "This has nothing to do with your prosthetic leg. I just don't like you."
I don't
just wanna
like
say
you 'cause
I
you're
like
Russian.
I enjoy the Russian people, but not you. I don't like
Listen.
you.
Now get back in that orgy and don't come out. until
Yeah,
you speak
hop
Russian.
to it, okay?
That's awesome. Okay, so what movies are you guys? I can start if you want. I feel like Vince is the natural. Vince should start, but Vince
Already used up his pick because we just talked about
Okay.
his.
Is that one of my picks? I was
Yeah,
just
you
throwing
used
that
it
out
up there.
there, dude.
Vince is
You
I'm
should have
pissed.
thought about it before.
I still get 5 other ones.
when it comes to horror films, Vince is kind of like Alexander. Like he's arrived to the end of the world, and now he's weeping because there's nothing left to watch or conquer in terms of horror films.
So I'm watching weird
Yeah.
one-legged Russians.
It kind of is, dude. Like I've been watching some of Vince's recommendations. Not all of them have been good, but I kind of
They're
feel
not
the same-
recommendations. It's what I'm watching.
No, I mean just in the past you've recommended stuff.
Oh,
to
okay.
me. But I kind of feel the same way that Eli was
Phantasm.
saying, where it was like, yeah, I feel like in some ways I feel like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel and stuff. So I'm like excited to find like whatever, like even if stuff's not that good, I'm like, I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch
That's a horror movies, Dave.
All right. Well, with that said, now
Not all,
that
not all of them, but yeah.
No, but a good portion of them.
since we're on the topic of Vince suggested
Slight
movies,
stimulus.
I finally bought and watched Talk to Me.
Me as well.
And I really liked Talk to Me. I put it on my list. I thought in terms of possession movies, it was a unique take. They didn't go the route I thought they were gonna go, where it was like, the suicide thing. But I enjoyed Talk to Me. Dave, what did you think about it?
Um, I didn't have that much interest in it when I saw the trailer.
Mhm.
And so I was kind of like, I don't know. But then like so many people liked it that I watched it. I wasn't like that. I didn't think it was that great. It kind of follows the Possession movie. It's done in like a extremely modern, like sort of interesting way. But I don't know like how original it actually is. Um, I don't know. I enjoyed aspects of it.
The thing I didn't see, because like the trailer when you watch it just seems like a possession movie. What I really enjoyed was when that girl first did the talk to me and held the hand, and she could see the like dead body. I thought that was really cool. That was something that it played into like what I like about slashers and 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s slashers, and like the prosthetic element of it, that gritty monster movie. But I don't know. I thought it was interesting, and I don't watch a ton of those type of movies, so I don't have a lot to like compare it to. But I thought in terms of just like a movie, if the Australians are going to make movies, I thought it was pretty good.
If we're gonna let Australians make
Yeah.
movies, I guess we'll take it.
Wait, they weren't Russian?
It's funny that you said that because like we were talking about Mike Flanagan stuff, and I think maybe part of it is I'm just so desensitized to like someone seeing a dead person that other people don't see, because like literally every Mike Flanagan like show is like there's a person that sees dead people and no one else sees them, and like they're scary, but I don't know, maybe I sort of like am too used to seeing that.
I will say that the scene where she's laying in bed with her dead demon mother and they're cuddling in bed, I was like, oh, that's really like the imagery of that is really terrifying.
Yeah, I guess part of it for me too was like I feel like I was trying to break down the mechanics of everything, and I'm like, this like makes sense. Like certain things, like long about like it starts getting really convoluted, like halfway into it, where then like it's like she tries to talk to me into another guy, and then there's like a little girl that doesn't talk to me into her, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
I thought just demons could do that. Now it's like everyone's inceptioning into like their own brains, like.
I was gonna say it's demon inception, dude.
Yeah, it kind of is, dude. And I kind of had to be like, wait, is that? Also, I thought it was funny because like they called the movie "Talk to Me." What was the other thing they say, Vince? You might remember. They say "Talk to me," and then what is it they say to like let?
I let you in.
Them? I let you in.
Yeah.
I feel like they wanted to call the movie "Let Me In" or "Let You In," but there's already a movie called that, so they had to like make up the "Talk to Me" thing so that they could call it "Talk to Me."
I could see that.
I enjoy what I liked about it is I liked how they presented this thing as like a party game. There was an element to me that reminded me of like Hereditary, where, and not in like plot or characters or story or cinematic feel, but what I liked about it, like the thing I love about Hereditary is because really it's about a movie of like grief, and if you don't handle grief in the proper way, it manifests itself. So in that regard, it is, there's definitely been other movies like that, but I enjoyed that because the messaging of it to me was something that was a little bit deeper of like, when you don't, and that's what Ari Aster is the one who did Hereditary, right? In Midsommar.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So one of the quotes I saw from him that was really cool was he was talking about like, it's really a movie about like the absence of love, and like when you're grieving somebody, or like you're so desperate to get a loved one back, like you'll invite anything back, because like if you don't fill that void of love with other love, like it turns destructive. And that like kind of played lightly into this story, which I appreciated. But I also appreciated that they presented this really creepy thing as like a party drug, and
that's what I was gonna say.
So to me, that felt like it felt fresh, because I was watching it going like, I don't understand these kids at all, because like I'm out. Like as soon as you bring the hand of a psychic and tell me that a demon, like I can talk to a demon, I'm out. Like I'm not doing it. But like this generation or the next generation coming up is a lot more like desensitized to that stuff.
I did feel like, that is kind of how it probably would play out if you got a bunch of like sort of like annoying young kids together in like a party,
yeah.
and there's that one token 35-year-old dude that's just there, and he's like, "Yeah, come to my house. I got a demonic hand."
I
It's
feel
like, why are you
attacked, kind
35?
of, Dave.
Why are you 35 and hanging out with like 18-year-olds? But okay.
What happened to the good old days of taking drugs?
Yeah, no, but I like that too. Yeah, that was definitely cool. Like, I feel like that is how it would play out if they like stumbled upon it. I guess like my other thing is kind of like a good and bad thing where like I didn't like a single character.
Yeah.
Like the entire movie, and maybe that's by design because like even the main character is kind of like annoying, and I'm like, why are you buying into everything? Like, why are you
she's
going
not
super
likable.
overboard with everything? But I guess that's there's certain horror movies where that is true, like where you just don't. You're kind of just rooting for everyone to die because I guess the thing making you keeping you watching is like you just want to find out what happens because the concept is
but
like what grabs you.
I do agree with you in that, and I think I texted Vince when I was watching it that the characters are what's lacking in this story. Because in my opinion, like you need a Laurie Strode. You need one person. If all the characters are going to be unlikable, to me, to get to that final thing and have it have meaning, especially when you're dealing in something as heavy as grief. But I almost feel like they didn't really know who their main character was.
Yeah, if the main girl I think was smarter, I think I would have enjoyed the movie a lot more. Like if everyone else was dove into it super hardcore, they're like, yeah, let's all do demonic shit, and then she was the one that was kind of more hesitant of it. Like, you guys are being dumb. Like, this is a demon. You're literally like giving them permission to come in you. But then she ends up like deciding to do it once she realized that like it's her mom, because that would change everything, right? To be like, oh, well, okay, I care less now because it's my mom. Like, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'd be a little more with her at that point.
Well, now, Dave, we have to do a parody sketch of Talk to Me, and it's about like the one girl at the party that's like, let's do demonic shit, and then everybody else is like, no,
that's
we don't
basically what it was. There's like
Yeah,
a montage where everyone's just like, yeah, let's do it 30 times.
yeah. All right, so Vince, are you satisfied? We all saw Talk to Me, dude. You've been preaching that movie.
Are you
since
satisfied,
July.
I'm
bro?
satisfied. Again, me and Paige saw it in a theater by ourselves, which will always make the movie.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It will always pump up those numbers. I do want to see it again. I was gonna watch it again for my Horrorfest, but I felt like that was cheating, so I haven't seen it a second time.
I also have a something to admit. I didn't watch the last like 6 minutes of it. I don't know if anything crazy happens in the last 6 minutes, but I missed the last 6 minutes.
I feel like the end of the movie is a pretty like big thing.
Okay. Because I have a baby, and sometimes when just mass disruption happens,
Okay.
like I guess the last 6 minutes we're watching tomorrow.
You
and then
could
it just didn't
probably
happen.
you could probably guess what happens. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely
Alright.
give those 6 minutes. I would say, definitely
Alright.
don't let Delaney rob that of you, dude.
I feel like that was her mission. Is like,
Of course, dude. That's all their missions, dude. They just want to destroy. Like, I was watching The Birds, and Callie comes in and is like, "I want to watch something else." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Like, this is a classic. What are you talking about?"
you don't interrupt the birds.
I was like, "Yeah, Tippi Hedren's been talking for 45 minutes, but you don't understand what that means." in the
Sure, it's
story."
not Vertigo, but it's we give it a solid B plus.
It's a
Sure,
classic.
it's completely void of a score, but that's the point, okay? Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Dave, what else have you been watching, man? Any other movies?
Yeah,
Bring to the
I
fold?
haven't been I haven't been able to watch as much stuff as I was hoping, but we got through a decent amount of stuff. I'm gonna throw out. Let's see. Another A24. I'm pretty sure this is A24 Lamb. Have you guys seen that? It's like pretty new.
Is that the one with the girl with the dragon tattoo? What's her name?
Oh,
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Dave.
about. I know. Oh, wait.
Did you watch it, Vince?
no, but it's on my list, dude.
Okay.
I don't really have a list.
Well,
but
maybe
I
I'll
have,
say. Maybe I could save it. Maybe I'll save it.
Is it worth watching?
Because,
Never mind. I don't want to hear your answer because I want to see
Dude,
it.
yes, because I want to see, I want to get you guys' reaction to it.
It definitely
I know
looks like
Lamb.
it's
I
going to
know
be
Lamb.
a weird one. Me too.
Isn't the one
It's
about the lamb that becomes like humanoid, kind of?
I think it's like a. So let us
Spoilers,
guess
yeah,
what
well,
it is.
I will say, don't even try not to look at anything before you go in, because even like I watched it knowing absolutely nothing about it, and then after I watched it, I was like reading the log line, and I'm like, it gives away every single thing like in the plot, and I was like, What? That's like the entire movie.
I hate
Like,
when that
why would you
happens,
just tell
dude.
me everything that happens?
I was gonna
Anyway.
watch the original Hills Have Eyes, and then I watched the trailer for it, and it's scene by scene what happens in the movie, and then 3 minutes in, I was like, all right, well, I watched it.
So and then Thomas dies by crucifixion.
So
I'm like, why would you tell me that?
For Lamb, what I imagine
Crucifixion?
happens, I think it's a couple that can't have kids and has a farm, and then
The entire thing is on a farm in I think Greenland.
it looks like it, or Iceland. I think Iceland's the green one, and Greenland's
Yeah,
the
it might be
Iceland.
Iceland. Yeah.
You know where I remember that from is D2 The Mighty Ducks. They break that down.
Do that? It's probably where I learned it.
Educating all of us. All right. Okay. Well, let me.
Is it spooky though?
Kind of.
Okay, I'm out.
It's very slow.
I'll trick Paige into watching that some night.
It's
It's
very
not
slow.
horror movie.
Dave, your contemplation over this movie is very A24.
I'm not.
It's
yeah.
very A24. Dude.
It's very that's the first thing I saw. Like when I watched it, I was like, that was the most A24 movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I feel like the script was like 17 pages, and they were like, yeah, we can make that an hour and a half. Like it's just like there's a shot that's like, "Brah, brah, 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 shh, that's pretty. Now we're looking at like a chicken. Now like this. I'm
That's
like,
my kind of movie, Dave. Keep going.
then it's for you, dude. It's all for you.
Yeah, I'm down with the chicken.
Okay. Anyway, okay, that doesn't count. Let me go with a different one. All right, here's an interesting. Okay, so we watched Jennifer's Body. Have you guys seen Jennifer's Body?
I have not. No.
Okay. All right, you guys aren't helping me very much, but
Dave, a lot of swing and misses on this one.
I
dude.
well, this movie was absolutely a swing and a miss, and that's why I wanted to talk about it because like apparently like I always knew it wasn't good, right? It was at the height of Megan Fox.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the cover for it, the poster for it is like her looking sexy in like a Catholic schoolgirl outfit with like looking like a vampire, like with a chalkboard behind her. Like obviously it's bad, but like apparently it's gotten like a sort of a cult following with like Gen Z kids, and we're like, so let's watch it. Like maybe it's like funny bad, you know?
Yeah.
And like some of it was funny bad, but like most of it was like just bad. Or it was like, dude, who like was there anyone like at the helm of this movie? Anyway, it just like there's wild things that happen, but like scene to scene is just like, what's happening? Like, why are we over here? Like, who's the main character? Anyway, so if you want, maybe you guys can turn that into a drinking game out there.
That could be fun.
I would love that.
I mean, definitely, it gives you prime Megan Fox. So,
Okay.
you know, that's worth some points.
Is
Like,
that like
I'll
prime
give it a C.
acting? Is that like prime looks Megan Fox or acting Megan
I mean,
Fox?
she's never had acting, so you can't have prime acting.
He's never had a
but-
prime acting.
But as far as looking like a hot Megan Fox, if that's all you're after,
Absolutely.
I would rather probably watch Jennifer's Body again than watch Ninja Turtles.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say
Because-
Top Boy.
Yeah, like as far as Jennifer or as far as Megan Fox movies, just
Have
because
you-
that one hurts my soul more.
Have you seen Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, dude? The sequel to the first one?
Dude, no.
Dude.
I was
it's
like,
worth-
nothing is gonna make me watch this.
Look, now that we have like a good Turtles movie and Turtles are back fully, you can go ahead and watch it and just hate watch the hell out of it, dude. Because if
man.
you've seen the first one, then to watch the second one and how they tried to fix it by adding Bebop and Rocksteady, it's even
Yeah.
funnier, dude. It's even more hilarious how they
All right.
don't understand the Turtles.
I
mean,
didn't
it's-
realize
yeah,
they made
yeah.
a sequel.
Yeah. That
So, like,
the
let's-
first one made a lot of money, dude.
Wow.
The first one made a lot of money because people love the Ninja Turtles, and then
Because
they
there
went
hadn't
and
been
saw
a
the
Turtles
sequel.
movie in,
Yeah.
in a
They had
long
all the
time.
hope.
And then they went and watched the sequel and went, nope, we're not seeing this one. And that movie made like no money.
Why
at all.
would you like greenlit if Michael Bay walked in and was like, "Hey, so Transformers, the same thing but turtles."
Yeah,
So,
I would be like, "No, you have to think a little bit more than that."
dude, they make
But
that
I guess
joke.
not.
They make that joke in Out of the Shadows. Like, there's a scene where Michelangelo like goes into this Halloween party in New York or this parade, and he comes out of the sewer, and the first person he sees is a kid dressed like Bumblebee, and they like make
Are
that
you
reference, dude.
serious?
Yeah,
I don't
it's,
remember that.
wow.
dude. I love that. Like that whole Michael Bay Turtleverse is predicated on Michael Bay making an announcement that the turtles were aliens from another dimension, and like everybody was like, "No, we're not seeing it." So they instantly just changed it and made it.
They changed it in the second one.
No, in the first one, before the first one came out, when they first announced it, Michael Bay thought he was like, Michael Bay's like, yeah, they're aliens and they come down to Earth, and everybody's
they didn't even have a meeting. They were just like, Michael Bay wants to do it, done. Exactly. We're just gonna move on to something else.
He didn't even know what they were.
$200 million, and it's like, dude, Michael, do you get that like a turtle is like a lot different than a giant robot?
Not in this universe.
They're like characters and they have personalities. He's all, no, well, the thing is that we don't need that because Megan Fox is such a great actress that she's going to carry the whole film.
That's so did you see Jessica's body or whatever it's called?
She's not, okay, you got me. She's not
Jennifer?
good, but she's hot. Have you seen her?
Dude, Annie fired.
Have you seen her boobs? She's going to carry the movie.
Have you seen Jennifer's body? Because I have.
Jennifer's body? I mean, I rest my case. And they're like, done.
He did, he did Bad Boys.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's
we got a little off track there, but it was necessary.
All right. So that was my turn. I kind of cheated, but
so now I really want to watch Jennifer. See, this is what I love, dude. Is because like I would have never watched Jennifer's Body if it wasn't for you telling me how bad it is.
Still shouldn't.
Like,
you absolutely shouldn't.
But that's the fun though, dude. Like that's the fun. Now I can go into it going like, all right, I can have some laughs. Sarah and I just like as an aside
instead.
Sarah, okay, done. Sarah
I do.
And I, I'm also the guy that's like I watched Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation, so I don't really have a leg to stand on.
That's true. I didn't do that. I told you, dude. We're at the bottom of the barrel. I'm here. I'm looking at Jennifer's body, hoping it's going to be a diamond in the rough. That's how desperate I'm getting over here. But
Sarah and I hate watching Twilight because she won't watch Halloween movies, and they're the only Halloween movies I can get her to watch. And dude, it is so fun.
Wait, do they count as Halloween? I guess so.
I mean, no, they don't, but to her they do. So I'm like, cool. But I enjoy it so much. One year we watched them and we bought all. So Riff Tracks is like the two cast-off guys that aren't Joel, whatever, from Mystery Science Theater 3000. And they have a company called Riff Tracks where they watch old movies, but they also sell commentary tracks. And they have an app that'll sync up. You put it in front of your speaker on your TV, and the app will sync up. And wherever you're at in the movie, their commentary will come in. So one year we watched all of the Twilight movies with their commentary, and it was like one of the most fun things I've ever done.
How many Twilight movies are there?
There's
like 5?
There's 5, yeah. They split the last one. Remember that was the era where you split the last book into 2 movies.
It was never a good decision.
No,
the book's
never
too long.
A good decision. All right, Vince, I think you're up, dude. What movie do you have in the pipeline?
Jeez, dude, I don't know. Dave's bringing in these bangers, dude.
That you guys haven't seen, and I'm really disappointed.
I'm watching Jennifer's Body tonight, like maybe before the stream's over.
Well, if I may do a A24 drop that doesn't count, much like Dave did. Have you seen Men? Have I already talked about Men?
Yes, I've seen Men. That's the other thing that other movie that's the most A24
it's
movie
the most,
I've ever watched.
Absolutely, and it's the same thing. It's beautiful, overgrown walkway in Europe. Where it's like there's this little cave
where there's
like,
mist.
Oh, it's so good. All right, so that's not my movie, but I do. Eli, you have to fucking see that movie, dude. It's wild.
I had to turn Men off, dude.
I was in theaters and I realized that I was so tensed up because it gets you tense, dude. It's
like I get
intense.
it. You're trying to make me uncomfortable. Whatever. Right?
I hate being a man.
I'm
now.
over this.
All right. My real pick.
I love being in the middle of this, not knowing anything about this movie.
You got to see it, dude.
Dude, there's a 20-minute sequence in which how do I say this without spoiling? It's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen.
Dave, if it's the same scene you're thinking of, which I'm sure it is, there's a 20-minute scene of him birthing himself over and over and
but
over.
But it's like 20 times, dude. Like
it's too much.
If it was once or twice, I would be like, oh, okay, that's kind of crazy. I've never seen someone birthing themselves before. I'll log that one away. But 20 times?
Yeah, it's enough that you're watching the movie and it pulls you out of it because you're like, wait, are they going to do it again? Oh, they're going to do it again.
He's not going to do it a 17th time. Oh, he did it again.
Yeah.
Wait, does he birth himself and then have an orgy with all the births of himself, dude? All the copies?
He should have done that.
That's the director's cut.
And it's Alex Garland, dude. And so it's I was looking forward to because I'm like, okay, it doesn't look good, but it's Alex Garland, and I enjoyed. Annihilation was out there and weird and like open to interpretation, but I loved it. This one was like, what? No.
I had the same feeling about Annihilation that I did of Men, where I was like, okay, I wanted to see it. I saw it. It wasn't what I thought, but it is a fun movie to be like, hey, you should watch this.
Dude, Ex Machina is a great movie too.
Yeah, Ex Machina was great. I wanted to rewatch it because I've only seen it once.
I mean, that counts as a horror film. But Vince, was that your submission?
Nope, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. All right, so a movie that I'm not sure if you guys have seen. I know that we haven't talked about it yet, and it is a movie that I've watched and it scared the shit out of me. Have you guys seen The Autopsy of Jane Doe?
No.
Boys. If you are home alone, lights off, baby's asleep, maybe baby's somewhere else because it gets kind of loud.
Maybe you got to get the baby in your lap so you don't feel
maybe
scared.
You hold the baby's eyes open.
Girl, this is what an autopsy is.
All right. So this movie, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, is absolutely fantastic. I thought I had the IMDb up for it.
I have it open.
Do you? Okay, who's the main guy in it? Because he's fantastic.
Brian Cox and Emil Hirsch and Ophelia Lovabond. Written by Ian Goldberg and Richard Nine. And the director was Andre Overdahl.
Okay. So, how do you say his name? Emil
Hirsch.
Emil Hirsch is fantastic.
Emil Hirsch.
I don't want to give up.
Hirsch.
I don't want to give up too much about it. It's a kid that's like an intern at a morgue, and he has to help out with his autopsy, and his girlfriend's waiting for him. But then they don't know who the chick is, thus Jane Doe, and just slowly you start to realize that everything that's happening around them is not supposed to be happening, and it gets super, super dark. You don't understand what is real, what they're like, if they're hallucinating, but shit just gets absolutely wild. This movie is probably one of the scariest movies I've seen that's come out within the past 10 years.
That was a good pitch, dude.
That was a great pitch.
Without giving away anything.
Yeah.
Dude, is it on Prime Video? Because that might be one we have to watch this week, dude.
I wish it was, but it's
midnight movie.
I don't think it is, man. It says streaming AMC Plus, Hulu, CW, and Tubi. So no.
I'm staying away from CW. So
those are a lot of options.
I didn't know CW had a streaming service.
I'm a Tubi kind of guy.
I love Tubi, dude. Tubi's the greatest. Dave or Vince, what would you say? What would you classify this movie as? Is it like a possession movie? Is it like a psychological thriller?
It is. I would say it's more witchcraft.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Is Jane Doe a witch? Dude, I could tell you what the plot is right now, dude.
I'm not giving away anything.
We're doing an
maybe Chance, you can guess what the plot is, and we'll see how accurate you are.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. What you got?
So this guy's girlfriend's waiting for him. She's at Chick-fil-A. He's at the
shit. He's seen
absolutely Chick-fil-A's in it.
She's asking for more sauce. We cut to Emil Hirsch. He's like, he's the apprentice of this embalmer guy, and they work at this mortuary. And there's this girl. They don't know what happened to her. They don't know where she came from, but she just showed up. So they start doing the autopsy, and as things progress, they find out she's a witch, but they don't know she's a witch. But it's like the Haunted Mansion thing where it's like a ghost will follow you home. He brings home the witchcraft and the leftover powers from when this witch died. And then like the demon or the witch and the witchcraft, the hex, it curses them and they have to figure it out. And they have to complete the task that the witch was set upon before she died, before Jane Doe died. Am I close?
Not even close, dude. But good try.
Damn it.
Chick-fil-A, you shouldn't have got off the Chick-fil-A, dude.
Our Chick-fil-A sauce
it's all Chick-fil-A.
They
have a new witch sauce.
The shooting title was 2 more Polynesians, please.
They do the autopsy and they just keep pulling out Polynesians.
Half their budget went to shooting at Chick-fil-A and getting the rights to it.
The Autopsy of Jane Doe, where they cut her open and there's just loads of Chick-fil-A sauces that somebody was storing in a dead body.
That's why they won't ever tell you what Chick-fil-A sauce is in it, right?
Dude.
Maybe it's because it's made out of Jane Doe.
Maybe that's why they took the power of choice away from the consumer when you'd be able to go back in there and just remember they'd have all the sauces laid out. Now it's like by request only.
Well,
they don't deny
dude,
you.
Maybe
it's
this
people
is
like
what
you though that ruined it.
Oh, sure.
Because you just took a whole sack in there and just started throwing sauces in your sack.
Eli would just come in with
you ruined
cargo
it
shorts.
for the rest of us that I would take 8 sauces.
Listen, if 80% of why I go to Chick-fil-A is the bag of Chick-fil-A sauces I can bring home to use for marinades later, then they should honor it, dude, because that's getting me in the door. Okay?
Marinades, it's all sugar, dude.
What's a couple sriracha ketchups to me just like not going and I mean I'm still going to consume Chick-fil-A, don't get me wrong.
They
and
have
I'm gonna
sriracha
ask
ketchup?
I'm going to ask the tweens
Dude,
that are working there for
sriracha
1,200 different sauces. Now the burden is put on their workers, not on me.
Just make Chick-fil-A just still lose money and suffer. You're just like, hey, would it be cool if I get some more ranch? And then like go to another guy. Hey, would it be cool to get some more Polynesian?
Hey,
And then just keep going. Just see how long you can go by being like polite. Can I get 5 more?
and then get indignant when they're not doing it quick enough because they have other stuff to do. Be like, hey, excuse me, Jim said I could get more zesty buffalo. Okay, I asked for 3 more and I only got 2.
You're just cutting in front of the people at the cash register. You're like, yeah, I'm still waiting on my Polynesians. I don't.
My bag of Polynesians.
I'm strictly ordering sauces and no food. That's the move.
Well, that's the guy that never orders. He just comes and politely asks for sauces.
That's Sauce Boy.
Dude, I scolded a Chick-fil-A worker the other day. I dropped Callie off for school, and I went and I said, I'm going to go get a Chick-fil-A biscuit for breakfast, which was my first, that's the first thing I shouldn't have done. So I waited 45 freaking minutes in the drive-thru for Chick-fil-A, dude. And luckily, I work remote, so it didn't matter. But if I was a guy who had to be at the office, I would be pissed. So finally, I'm just staring at the people working there.
If I had a job, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, if I had a job that required me to go in physically, then it'd be different. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and they're all the people there are flirting with each other. Which, okay, that's great on in a vacuum, that's great. Flirt away, you're the age to flirt. But when I'm waiting 45 minutes for 1 Chick-fil-A biscuit and 2 Polynesians, and I just looked at the guy, I said, dude, what is going on? I said, why? I've been in line for 45 minutes. Oh, sorry, dude, we're understaffed. I said, 45 minutes. I said, this is fast food. You can take the fast off your moniker. Have a great day. And I drove away.
Mind you, it's a Chick-fil-A. They're not short-staffed, dude. There's 15 people at the
There was
window.
15 people flirting with each other.
Yeah.
Are you sure this was Chick-fil-A?
Well, that's
If you should call the corporate headquarters and get
Talk to the cow, dude.
As I drove away, I looked at my rear view, and the sign that said Chick-fil-A broke off the sign, and it was a cardboard sign. Somebody had magic marker Chick-fil-A. It was actually Pepe's. I went to Pepe's and waited 45 minutes.
Okay, that explains a lot. Maybe you should tell them. You should call corporate headquarters and tell them that you're going to renounce your Christianity because of how terrible your experience was at Chick-fil-A.
Or tell them I'm getting tinges of gay activity, and the only thing keeping me from fully committing is their Chick-fil-A, and this guy made me question it for 45 minutes, dude.
Y'all, in the drive-thru, I was thinking about coming home and looking up John 3:16, but after that experience, no, I'm not going to open a Bible.
I always respected you guys for being closed on Sunday, but not anymore, okay? You're no different than an atheist. Goodbye. Yeah.
The store is
In-N-Out
closed
still has
next
my
week.
business, though.
Look, In-N-Out is still pious, and they don't put a freaking Bible verse on your cups. You don't have to close all dramatically on Sunday, okay? Jeez. Why don't they stay open and let the atheists work, dude? Like, why isn't that an option? There's a lot of people that don't believe the same way they do. Why can't they work on Sundays so that we can enjoy it?
They just have
Maybe they could
goth
have
Sundays.
someone just like maybe they could have someone that just shames you. Like anyone that comes here on Sunday, like they're open, but there's just a guy that will just shame you as you go by. I'll
Dude,
still
totally.
go.
It's like Boston 1775, where they would literally have a chaplain walking around the streets on Sunday, and if you were in your house and not in church, then you would get flogged for it, dude. I'm fine with that. Just just make sure the sauce is in the bag, as Tim Dillon says.
Or you can maybe you could coat like the outside of your car in blood to be like passed over as you.
Oh, I just wanted Polynesian.
Where are my biscuits?
All right, so
All right, we got a little off topic.
So
Yeah.
Jane Doe,
Well,
check it out.
Jane Doe. Dude, that's
Check it
2
out,
for
dude.
2. I'm definitely watching both of those, and I think I can get Sarah to watch Jennifer's Body, which is really the intrigue there.
If she likes the Twilight movies, maybe she'll love Jennifer's Body. Maybe
Well,
that's up her alley.
I don't know who loves likes the Twilight movies, but
Dude, trick her into watching.
Did
the
you see
Autopsy movie.
Did you see the thing I sent you with Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
It's like someone compiled all the times he's talking about Twilight, like negatively. He's basically subliminally talking shit on it. Like someone's like, who's the person that had the most like positive experience to you just on set, just throughout all the Twilight movies? Like, and he sits there for like 30 seconds just going, and he just doesn't answer. There's some really good ones though.
Well, and that guy is like, there's some actors that are as good as whoever is directing them, and he is definitely one of them in my opinion. I've seen him in stuff where he works. I liked him as Batman. I liked him as Bruce Wayne. It's a little angsty, but I feel like a little angst is okay for that first Batman movie, because if they go somewhere else, they can make him more Bruce Wayne. That might be justification. I don't know, but yeah, it's just funny, dude. It's like the whole time you're watching those movies, you're like, Sarah at one point looked at me and was like, "Why are they in this? There's so much like, they're just so incredulous in all their acting." I'm like, "Well, because they're making money. Like they showed up to make money. That's
Phoning
it.
it in, dude.
Yeah, they're at a job they hate, and they're only there because they need to make their nut. That's it."
It was like another one was like, they're like, so these movies are finally drawing to a close. This is the last one. Does it feel bittersweet for you? And he's like, I guess for some people, yeah, they're gonna miss him.
And he's the lead of this movie, dude?
Yeah.
Wow.
He just leaves it at that, dude.
Which
So
is
funny.
like kind of it's kind of pure.
Yeah, he's got money now. He can be honest.
All right, Vince. Any other things to say about the Autopsy of Jane Doe? You recommend? Is it
I
where would you
re-
rank it? How many skulls?
Honestly, I don't know how you guys. I really thought it was a scary movie, man. I would say it's an 8 out of 10 skulls
Wow.
because it's fresh.
Okay.
It's spooky. It's something if you haven't seen it yet and you throw it on and all your lights out, you'll probably get a little freaked out, dude.
Okay.
All you can ask for is fresh and spooky. That's
Fresh
really
and
my
spooky.
motto.
Fresh and spooky is.
It's actually my screen name, Fresh and Spooky.
Spooky.
Fresh and spooky should be on the tags on the stream. All right, I got a movie for you. Have you guys heard of the movie Carnival of Souls from 1962?
Never seen it though.
Dude, I recommend this movie. It's on HBO Max. It's part of their like Criterion. HBO Max is dope because they have all the Criterion, or a lot of the Criterion movies that cost $40 if you were to buy them. But it's called Carnival of Souls. It was made by a dude named Herb Harvey, who was like a corporate director that made like movies for businesses, that decided he was driving through Utah and there was this old rundown, I forgot the name of it, but there's this old rundown carnival in the Salt Flats of Utah, and he came up with this whole horror movie, and it's super interesting. It's the way I would describe it is, and it was a movie that came out that was not successful but has built a cult following, and it's like if Alfred Hitchcock made a movie with no budget and less talent than the real Alfred Hitchcock, but in the best way possible for a cult movie. So it's a story about a woman who, the movie starts with her and her girlfriends, and they're in a car, and this guy rolls up next to him in a car, and he's like, "Hey, you guys want to drag race?" And so the girls are like, "Yeah, let's do it." So they drag race, and the girls end up careening off of a bridge, and one of the girls survives, and she's a church organist who's just been hired by this church in another city to be their lead organist, and she's like a total atheist. But she comes back. They can't find the crash. She comes out, drives to this place to be the organist in this church, and along the way, she starts seeing the faces of like dead people. And like, I have to imagine that the Imagineers who worked on the Haunted Mansion had to have been fans of this movie, had to have gotten inspiration, because there's so many like just visual elements to it that remind me so much of the Haunted Mansion. Like there's a scene where she's driving and there's the face of this like dead person in the passenger side window, and it's totally like a Pepper's Ghost effect. And it's one of the creepiest things ever. Total psychological thriller, super enjoyable. The last 20 minutes of the movie are really scary. I totally recommend you guys see it. Like I said, it was made by a dude. It was the only movie he ever made. Shot it in Kansas and Utah, and like basically paid all these people. Like he went into a department store and shot and paid the manager $20 to ignore them while they shot all the scenes. he paid. I think it said he paid like the city of Salt Lake $50 or something to shoot at this abandoned carnival, which is where she. Anyway, I don't want to say too much about it, dude.
Awesome.
I walked into it knowing nothing other than I saw a tweet that somebody had put up of some of the best like haunting scenes in movies, and that was one of them. So I had seen it on HBO Max, and it's a really good time.
I don't think I've even heard of that, but for me, anything that's involved like a carnival, I'm just automatically in.
Dude, you're gonna love the movie. It's super weird. Like you got to stick with it a little bit. There's great twists in it, but it's just this slow. It's in a certain way. It reminded me a little bit of Pearl, where you're just watching this woman get into this like gnarly crash, and then what her life becomes after that, and like the slow descent of madness and guilt from being a survivor of this thing. It's nuts, dude. I really loved it. It was like a huge inspiration to George Romero of Night of the Living Dead, and when you watch it, you will absolutely go like, oh shit, he ripped off Night of the Living Dead with some of this stuff. So yeah, super good movie. It's on HBO Max. Go check it out. You guys will really, I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Nice. Again, that was a solid pitch.
That's a solid pitch,
yeah,
dude. That's also on my list. I've never seen it. I've only ever heard great things about it, though.
It's great. It's an hour and 25 minutes, so it's an in and out kind of a thing. But man, it just, and it's that indie horror, like indie before indie was indie, and it's just super low budget. Like he raised all the money from local businesses in Kansas, and then he used local actors in Kansas and Utah. So it has that element of weird, like not seasoned actors, and it makes it even creepier. Dude, she has these visions in the movie, and all the visions they shot like it was a 20s silent film. So all the ghouls and monsters are shot in like it's a silent film. It's so super ethereal and cool, man. I think you guys would dig it.
Do they have like any like fast casual restaurants in it, like Chick-fil-A or like whatever the equivalent is?
Well, not in Carnival of Souls 1, but Carnival of Souls 2 I heard takes place exclusively in a Chick-fil-A in like the 70s, so it would have to be in Oklahoma.
The first Chick-fil-A, dude.
Yeah.
What if they did that? What if they just came out with a sequel to it like next year? That'd be awesome.
Well, dude, it was so reviled when it came out that the lead, who was the lead actress, her management and like representation dropped her. But she 30 years later or 20 years later, she wrote a sequel to it, took it to the movie studio. Oh, the other thing about this movie, they never copyrighted it. So as soon as they released it, it became public domain.
What?
So like there's no
result. I just flat out forgot.
Yeah, I just flat out lost it. But they don't so there's no they didn't make any money from it. But the lead actress wrote a sequel to it and took it to a movie studio, and they were like, oh, awesome, thanks for this great idea. We're just gonna reboot the movie, and they remade another one, I think in the late 80s or late 90s. Super dope
guys, real good job with the movie. I'm excited to be done with it. Quick thing, I forgot to file anything. I can't pay anyone, and we made nothing.
The lawyer's like, he only gave me $5.
There's absolutely zero residuals, at all.
I don't know what to say other than I'm sorry, but great job, you guys.
It's a cult hit. It didn't make any money in the movie theaters, but
I know that there's going to be a guy talking about it on a podcast in 2023. So that's
in 20 years when HBO becomes a thing, it's going to reach a cult following that you won't ever see the monetary gains for at all.
So
your family's going to be still poor, living paycheck to paycheck
in Kansas.
Is it owned by someone now? I would imagine
no.
So we could watch it on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. We could watch it.
Good point, dude.
Dude, I'd be so down for that. It would be fun to watch you guys experience it in real time. I had so much fun with it. That's my favorite. This year I really tried to branch out in terms of the movies that, Talk to Me is not a movie I would really, watch. We branched out early on and kind of watched a little bit more foreign horror, which I thought was really cool. And
me too, man. And then I stopped, and then I went right back to fucking Tremors and Phantasm and shit that I've seen 1,000 times, dude.
You're an American, dude. That's
how
we
roll. Good stuff, dude. There's some really good foreign horror stuff.
All right, Dave, what do you got next?
I guess, I'll say recently I rewatched Coraline.
Dude.
From, I think, 2010 or somewhere in there.
Great movie.
And I saw it before. I saw it when it came out. I actually think I saw it at a drive-in that we might have gone to it together, but yeah, it was pretty awesome. Like I love, I feel like it doesn't give that much get that much recognition, especially in like the horror animated space, where it's just not that much horror animated space. Like obviously, like you have Nightmare Before Christmas, that's by far the most popular. You kind of have like Corpse Bride, but Coraline's underrated, dude. There's some really like scary parts of it. And like I feel like watching it again, I got more out of it. That was like, basically it's this girl that's like trying to fit into this new like town, this mansion that her family's moved to, and she has like no friends. And she realizes that when she goes through this little secret door in the room, she goes into basically like a bizarro universe. So like all her parents, all the people over there are all like bizarro versions of themselves that have buttons sewn in as their eyes. So it's really about like, and watching it again, like I was like, oh, this is really about like being like your like alternate selves and like looking at other choices you could have made, or looking at like, like how to treat each other, even like, and I guess it's kind of about like, at first like her parents seem so perfect, these alternate parents, but then you start to realize that it's a little too good to be true, and they might be like awesome parents for a kid at first, but then they actually are like, they don't actually love her because they're not real people with real flaws. So and it just gets real crazy at the end with like just crazy spider stuff and interdimensional stuff. So yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Dude, I love that movie. I love the Leica stuff so much. I love Paranorman and Box Trolls and Kubo and the Two Strings. Like I really, really dig those movies. I tried putting Coraline on for Callie. She didn't really seem to dig it, but yeah, I love that movie because too, as a parent now, it's kind of interesting to watch it because it's really about like what is like love, and what is like, from a kid's perspective, love is giving them everything that they want, and from a parent's perspective, it is like creating guidelines and structure and a world of rationale, I guess, which drives her. Also, Connection to Nightmare, it was directed by Henry Selick, same director as Nightmare Before Christmas, which is awesome.
Yeah, which he gets no credit at all.
No credit
for Nightmare. Everyone's like Tim Burton.
And he's super resentful, but you can't really resent that. All those designs. I mean, Tim Burton mapped all that stuff out.
Yeah. He was just there for 14 hours a day doing the actual stop motion.
Yeah, exactly.
Directing the actual stop motion.
Tim Burton was like, I'm going to be over here directing Batman while you do all the hard work.
Tim Burton's like, oh, hey, I just scribbled down some shit on these 8 napkins, and just throws it at him, and then he leaves to go do Batman.
Dude, but it worked. And yeah, no, that's a great pick, dude. I wouldn't have ever thought of that, but I love that movie. Fun fact, Vince has a niece named Coraline, right?
Yeah, I was going to say
really?
that. Yeah, directly based off of that movie too, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
My sister was such
I
a
like
fan.
how always it's like, everyone keeps calling her Caroline. She's like, it's Coraline.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's like very weird. It's a very weird movie. But,
Super strange.
So I can see kind of why it's kind of like not as mainstream, but yeah, it's kind of a hidden gem.
I feel like I did enjoy that part that you're talking about, Dave, where like hit the Bizarro family. When Coraline first meets them, she thinks that they're perfect and all this, and then as she goes, she realizes that they're just giving in to all the kid wants. But whenever it comes to like tangibility of like, oh, you're my parent and you should be teaching me good, like right and wrong, it's not there at all. And that reminds me a lot of the movies I watched as a kid. I used to watch all these like made for TV Disney movies, and I think there was one called like Mom Swap Meet or something like that. I don't know if Eli, you would know about this.
I think it's actually a porno you watched. I don't think that has anything to do with Disney.
Mom
Swap Meet, huh?
I don't.
No, I don't.
It's
I don't
found
know.
footage.
Yeah, it was great, dude. I don't
know what that one is, but I'm sure it was part of the Wonderful World of Disney when we were kids. They used to do those every Sunday night.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the name
Mom
of it.
Swap Me.
But the whole concept was there's these
I really
three
hope
kids. Mom swap
For
meet.
sure,
Really
there's
hope
a
there's been a
porno in
porn
that.
that's involved.
For
swap
sure
meet.
there is, dude. It's too
I hope
easy.
so.
Guys, back on task. The movie that I'm talking about
That is
is
the task.
there's three kids, like every kid's movie, and then something happens where their mom goes away, and then like there's this magic portal, and they have to go through it, and whenever they get there, there's like a swap meet where you can choose the mom that you want, and they have three choices, and they choose like the rich mom, they choose the sporty mom, and then they choose like this weird ass mom. But the whole thing is like these kids are trying to pick their ideal parent. But in reality, like none of these parents are giving them what they actually need besides their real mom. And that's kind of what Dave talking about this movie and Coraline, that kind of like took me back to whenever I was a kid. So I appreciate the story.
Dude.
It's wholesome, dude.
Also,
It's
this
great.
is
Like
your
Home Alone is kind of hits on
mom.
those too.
Mom swap meet is your suggestion, by the way.
No,
Like
it's
that,
not.
You
I-
burned so much time
Okay.
on mom swap meet, dude.
Let me find the real name of that then so we can make a good clip. Shit, that's not my pick. It's so A24.
Swap meet.
I really hope
Vince,
it's
you
called.
looking for your next one?
Oh, I have it. I thought you said that was it.
I'm kidding.
All right. So a lot of my movies on my list are newer movies. Have you guys seen Netflix movie The Pale Blue Eye?
Dude, I literally just watched a trailer for that the other night and was like, I need to watch this. Christian Bale, right?
Christian Bale. I wouldn't really consider it it's not a hardcore horror movie.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe. It's more of a mystery like detective movie, but was fantastic. Absolutely loved it.
Dude, so that's got a dude in it named Harry Melling who plays Edgar Allan Poe, and he was Harry Potter's cousin in all the Dudley and all those Harry Potter bullshit movies, which like intrigues me more than anything else and why I want to watch it. He was also in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
The character
dude.
he played in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, that whole
Yeah.
story was
Yeah.
so fucking good and so bad.
Dude, I love that movie.
Like, it was
It's
so
not, like
evil.
not every segment of that movie is great, but like
That
two
one.
of them are, and I love
I
that.
just realized what this movie was. Yeah, I actually saw this movie in theaters. Like,
Did you?
Like, I know it's in Netflix, but it was in theaters for a while. And I saw it with my uncle.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, man. I
It was
kind
great.
kind of surprised like how much I liked it. Like like we said, like very, very mystery, very kind of old school mystery, almost like a Sherlock Holmes. You know, obviously, yeah, it's based on Edgar Allan Poe, but yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. Definitely, yeah, good Christian Bale.
Good Christian
miss.
Bale. It
His
definitely-
beard, dude. I was so envious of his mustache in this movie. I was just staring
Yeah.
at his mustache, being like, dude, that's a mustache right there.
Yeah, dude. That
See,
was
and
a-
Christian Bale's like, you know, this is where his method bolt BS like stuff comes into play where it works. Where he'll grow the beard out, dude. He doesn't need like a fake beard. He'll grow a real one out. You know what I mean? And that's important.
So you guys need me to be fat? I could be 300 pounds.
So you need me to be emaciated and not eat for 6 months? I'll do it.
We don't need you to do that.
Bro, we have CG. Why do we need you to do that? Well, because it's pure. Because it's pure.
So I don't believe. Well, he doesn't believe in wigs. It seems like so. That's
Good.
definitely.
What
Seems
did
like it would make sense for you.
So this is a pick that you guys have both seen. Or no, Eli, have you seen it or you just saw the
No,
trailer?
but I'm dude.
Okay, never
you
mind
guys
then.
are giving me all kinds of hope. I got 3 now. That I'm in.
I would love for you to come back and tell us what you thought, because I would love to talk to you and Dave about the ending of that movie. Because I won't talk about it, but I feel
Talk
like
to you. That's the sequel to Talk to Me.
Yeah.
Dude, talk to me again.
You're the demon. The main character is the demon, and
I
you're
heard-
being sucked in from hell and placed in
Dude.
some random guy's, random Gen Z kid's bedroom.
They announced the sequel. Did you guys hear about it?
No,
It's called
Talk to
Come
Moi?
and, It's Come and Me.
is that at the swap meet?
Of course, they're gonna do a sequel because it made yeah. Just a bunch of moms at a swap meet, dude.
Why is this suddenly like porn? Why is this sequel?
Australians.
Ugh.
All right, cool.
We gave you one A24 movie, and this is what you guys do.
We give you a little bit of freedom, Australia, okay, and you make a pretty good movie, and then now you want a sequel?
We're going back to New Zealand. They have all the all
wit.
the momentum right now.
They have Maori
Yes,
lore. They have Maori lore, okay?
That being said, though,
Um,
Harry Melling is fantastic, dude. Give me more.
Sweet, dude. I'll definitely check that one out. I saw it like literally the other day. I watched the trailer and everything. All right, my next one. Have you guys heard of a movie from 1986? It's an early Michael Mann movie called Manhunter.
I don't think so.
You said it.
So Manhunter is the first in the series of the Hannibal Lecter series. It's based on the Red Dragon.
Ooh, I didn't know
And
that.
dude, it is awesome. You guys got to check it. Just like take horror and Halloween out of it. Just as a movie, this movie is so good. But it follows a similar format to Silence of the Lambs. But it's really interesting because there's this character played by William Peterson named Will Grant, and the whole thing is like it starts with this FBI profiler coming to him on the beach with his family, and they pull him out of retirement because he did the Hannibal Lecter case and got Hannibal Lecter put in jail, and Hannibal Lecter basically drove him crazy. But he's the best profiler because he literally will like get into the mind of a serial killer, and he like tries to understand them. And like William Peterson's performance at it is so good, and you really feel like you're watching an insane person because he'll just like sit in a tree and look at the house where this guy killed people and be like, oh yeah, you looked in the mirror, didn't you? You looked in the mirror before on your way out. Super good, like just super off-putting, weird in that same Silence of the Lamb like way, and the killer is super weird and just like off-putting. His name is Francis Dollarhide, which is a terrifying name, but yeah, that one's on my Voodoo, boys. Check that one out. I think you guys will really like that one.
The most 80s movie poster I've ever seen.
100%.
Is it like, how is it related to, because I've seen The Red Dragon with
Edward Norton?
with Edward Norton, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it kind of based on this similar book?
Yeah, so it's a prequel. It was originally called Red Dragon, and they changed the name of it because I guess Red Dragon had been a TV movie before that. But it's before Silence of the Lambs. So it Hannibal Lecter is in it, but he plays basically like this expert on serial killers, and he communes with Francis Dollarhide, and he tries to kind of like manipulate him into doing things. And Francis Dollarhide is kind of like a disciple of Hannibal Lecter. So in the like Red Dragon, it comes before the Ed Norton movie, and it comes before Silence of the Lambs. But I would honestly say it's a prequel to Silence of the Lambs, even though it came before it.
Nice.
Really good though, really good movie, and takes you places and really makes you feel icky, which I like when a movie can do that.
I like to feel icky.
Yeah.
Mine was fresh and spooky. Yours is icky, or some fresh and icky.
Damp
Dirty and
icky.
icky.
Ooh.
Smelly and icky.
I like to feel dirty, icky.
Did you already say that Brian Cox plays Dr. Lecter?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
dude,
not
he's fantastic.
It's not Hopkins. Yeah, it has a tie-in to your movie, the the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah, exactly.
He does a good job. He's not, Anthony Hopkins is the GOAT when it
yeah.
comes to Hannibal Lecter, but
For sure.
does a good job. It made me want to watch all of them, and it made me want to watch. There was a Hannibal series that was a TV series from a few years ago with Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal Lecter, and I always like stuff he's in because he's so weird looking.
I heard
So
that
I was
was
like, I
really
wonder if
good
it'd be
too.
good.
That series.
Yeah.
All right, Dave.
All right,
what you got?
Dave.
Sweet. All right, I got one more, and then I probably got to head out. But I'm excited for this one to mix it up because most of ours have been icky and spooky and creepy. This one is just fun.
The Addams Family.
icky, spooky, creepy.
Does that make me
gonna-
creepy? Because you're icky and spooky.
I guess you're creepy.
Damn it!
It's
Got me
like
again.
the three. Maybe there's three characters: icky, creepy, spooky, and they're. I don't know. There's a mythology there. I'm gonna throw in Gremlins 2 to spice things up. Just a really, really fun, also dumb, and also amazing film. One of the best sequels of all time. Gremlins 2.
Dude, I have never seen the Gremlins.
Oh my god.
What?
Never. This is my Ferris Bueller all over the place.
Dude.
Vince, have you seen? Are you a Gremlins guy?
I am. I'm trying to remember. I was trying to look right now. Dave, is Gremlins 1 or 2 the Christmas movie? Because one of these I consider a Christmas movie.
2
2 is in the mall?
Are they both Christmas movies?
To me, they
I better
are.
get this right.
I think
my
2.
wife's Gremlins is like my wife's favorite franchise.
I was about to say,
of all
I feel
time.
like Nevada might attack us for this. 2 is the one that's in the
I think
mall.
it's both. I think
right?
both of them are. Yeah, the first one was like, it was funny because like the main actor guy was like talking about this like to like a screening, and he was like basically saying that he, like, his agent made him like do this movie, and he didn't ever think it would be anything. He thought it was gonna just be terrible and like ruin his career, and then like he's like, I never would have thought it would become like a cult classic movie that like so many people are stoked about. But basically, it's like, I'm surprised, Eli, you haven't seen it, but
I know, me too, man.
the first one is kind of like a more typical like 80s movie, but like and it's kind of like the mythology of the Gremlins, or like of like how that whole mythology works and everything, how they get it. But then the second one, so like a lot of time went by and like everyone wanted a Gremlins sequel, and I forget who the director is. He like didn't want to make a sequel.
Joe Dante.
And
Okay, and then so but the
Chuck
studio
Jones.
was like, made money, you should make a sequel. So he finally decided to do like Gremlins 2, and so they purposely made it like the most ridiculous shit ever possible, like quadrupling down on all the silliest stuff from like the first movie. Because it's like puppetry. It's like you see all of the Gizmo is like the main little guy, but then there's certain rules, like if they touch water, or if you feed them after midnight, they will transform into a gremlin, and gremlins are just pure chaos. So ultimately in the first one, you eventually see like there's a bunch of chaos and they start multiplying into like a million gremlins. But the second one like triples down on it, and it's just like the ending is just like the most ridiculous. There's a billion gremlins, and they're every kind of gremlin possible. There's like a girl, there's like a sexy female gremlin.
She's haunting, dude. I can think of it.
Because like they like one of the gremlins like touches some scientific experiment that turns them into like a female for no reason. Like there's a pure electric, there's a gremlin that's made out of pure electricity for like no reason. There's like just absolute chaos, like, and they just try to do the most wild. And there's also like one of the best, like one of the funniest Key and Peele sketches I've seen is about Gremlins 2, and they recreate the like pitch, the like creative like brainstorming of like Gremlins 2. They're all, this is G2 people, we gotta like get things like go, and they like go across the room, and they're like all 12 people in the room are just like, give me your best ideas, and then he'll be like, how about like a guy that is just like, maybe there's a gremlin that's like just like becomes electricity. He's like, done, that's in the movie, next. And then it's like every single one is like actually something that winds up in the movie. But it's it's pretty ridiculous. Like I said, like a big cult following. You'll definitely like have fun watching it. So,
done, dude. I'm watching Gremlins.
Very 80s, very 80s.
I'm watching Gremlins and Gremlins 2 just for Nevada's sake, dude. I don't know how to show my face around Nevada without having ever seen Gremlins.
I don't think she knows. Yeah, I don't think she knows that you haven't, or she'd be really let down.
Dude, don't tell her. I'll just like, I'll pop up one day with all these like, oh, remember in Gremlins when this happened, and you'll know that I watched it, and just play along.
There's Brain Gremlin, Bat Gremlin. Oh yeah, there's one that's just like cross pollinates with a bat, and he just has bat wings. It's great.
That Key and Peele skit is so fucking funny, dude, especially if you've seen Gremlins 2, because it doesn't make any sense that these things exist until you see that skit, and you're like, oh, this is 100% what happened here.
Yeah, they just really dissected every moment of that movie, and we're like, why? What happened? But it's still amazing.
I can't believe you haven't seen those, Eli.
I know. It's
Christmas,
a blind spot, dude. There's certain movies that are blind spots, and that's one of them. I'm literally looking up Gremlins 2 right now in Vudu. So that'll be added.
A lot of great merch. We have like, I have a Gizmo like recreation puppet at our house, and it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Dave, when you were talking, I was holding this up.
Oh, dude, nice.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, there's the 3D.
The 3D popcorn gremlin, dude?
3D popcorn gremlin.
All right. I just added Gremlins 2 to Vudu, so
Yes.
I will absolutely watch the two of those. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely watch the first one first. But yeah, the second one is just very ridiculous.
I got it in sweet 4K, dude. I just have never watched it.
Dude, I didn't even know they were in 4K. That's crazy.
Just the first Gremlins. The second one, they're like, I don't think people need this in 4K.
We'll settle with HD on this one.
All right. Well, hey,
dude, there's a Gremlin. Just one more. There's a dude. There's a. I just remembered that there's a voyeuristic Gremlin, or what's it's like
Peeping Tom.
There's a no. What's it called when you're like the dudes that are arrested as like sex predators because they like show themselves to people? What is that called? He's got his coat and
like
he's
flasher?
it up. Yeah, he's a
the
flasher.
flasher
He's
dude?
a flasher Gremlin.
I forgot about that one.
Right,
I thought he was selling watches.
Dude, 80s was
That's what he tells you.
80s was the decade for flashing, dude. Flashing just doesn't exist anymore.
They should bring it back. You know, those were the good old days.
Dave, that's a good call.
We can do things with no consequences that were horrible to other people.
Really quick, I know Dave's got to get going. I wanted to just bring up, so the rest of my list is I brought in Poltergeist, which is just, I love that movie, watching it every year. It's so much fun, and, you know, it's kind of maligned a little bit because Tobe Hooper directed it. It was the guy that directed Texas Chainsaw, but a lot of people say that it was Steven Spielberg who directed it, really. And I kind of see the earmarks of Steven Spielberg in that movie.
He produced it, though, right?
Yeah, and he couldn't do it because he had a deal with whatever studio that he could only do one movie, and I think he was doing E.T. But a lot of people say that like he was on set and like would call out stuff, and which is kind of shitty, but it's also like
the director's all cut. He's all, no, it's not a cut.
He's all, no. I didn't say I'm Stevie Spielberg, and I didn't say it was a cut.
Dude, have you seen all the lore for that movie?
Oh yeah, dude! Like the Heather O'Rourke, and all the people that have died have been.
And they use real human skeletons in that movie too?
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot. But that movie's a classic. I love that movie. It's always
I loved it, dude. I feel like it still holds up. Like,
100%.
Like one of the best ghost movies.
Any crack in my wall, I'm terrified, dude.
And then the last like honorable mention, I rewatched all the most recent Halloween movies, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed Halloween Kills more than I enjoyed it the first time I watched it. There's a lot of stuff. I was talking to Vince, and the BS thing about the new Halloween movies is that they came out and made a point to be like, well, these are canon. This is the true sequel, and all those other sequels are BS, and they're not good, and they don't count, and they're not included, which is true to a certain degree. But then they ended up like reusing like all this stuff where the town of Haddonfield comes together and forms a mob. It's all from Halloween 4. Return of Michael Myers.
Yeah, so, they reused a lot. It kind of reminds me of The Last Jedi, where Rian Johnson's talking about it, and he's like, "We didn't want to follow the formula. We want to do something different because it's good filmmaking." And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you reused almost everything. You reused almost every idea from like Empire Strikes Back and from like other stuff.
But what I realized about that movie this time watching it, the whole movie's from Michael Myers is the main character. All of the perspective and all of the stuff is there's the town and Tommy Doyle, and then you have the Strodes that are relegated to a hospital. But really, it's about Michael Myers, and it's from his perspective. And if you're a fan of that character, like some of those shots, like when he comes out of the burning house and just wrecks those firefighters, it's like there's nothing more Michael Myers than that movie, in my opinion. Not like, not the greatest movie top to bottom, but I really enjoyed it more. I still really dislike Halloween Ends. I think rewatching that solidified it, but I really enjoyed Halloween Kills, and I really think Halloween 2018 is the second best Halloween movie that they've done. So that's
dude, I agree with that. That first one, I really love that first movie, and so it's kind of like what you're saying. Like, I was all the more let down to be like, okay, they're restarting the canon. They picked where they're like, because it's Halloween 2. It's after Halloween 2, right? Like, they kept that, and then
after Halloween 1. They completely
that's it. It's just the first one,
which is really dumb. I mean, they got rid of it because they didn't want to be hampered by Laurie being Michael Myers' sister, which I never understood. I never understood why that's a problem. Like, it's not like it would have upended that entire series, but
I mean, it's fine. Like, I'm all with that if you have a great idea and that you want to execute, but like then you get to the end and you're like, that was it. Like, we didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a bold move. Dude, sorry. It's a bold move to change the two, like the story between the two original movies, say that the second one no longer counts because you have a better idea, then completely copy, like you said, the other movies, all their best parts, and then also just shit on the fucking franchise, dude. Shit on fucking Laurie. She, like you even talked about, she went from 2018 being a badass to the very next movie being in the hospital being like, woe is me.
Dude, the whole movie she was in the hospital.
Yeah, it was, which in the second Halloween she is in the hospital, but she fucking fights and kind of beats him.
Well, dude, Halloween 2 is a great sequel. It really is a great sequel. I think like the benefit of the original and then having 2018, if you watch it as the direct sequel, the interesting thing is like they've created a Halloween multiverse where it's all predicated on what happens after Loomis shoots Halloween. Halloween 2, he gets away. In Halloween 2018, he's apprehended by the police. So it all depends on like that one element is the like that's the conduit that changes. And I like that there's like a multiverse of Halloween movies. I really do. But Halloween Kills I enjoyed way more this time just for like the kills and the creativity. And man, the cinematography in those movies, if they did anything right, they really did emulate that first, 78 Halloween movie in terms of...
Their budget was more than $25.
Yeah. Yeah, and like those shots, I was telling Vince, my favorite thing is those shots where Michael Myers is in darkness and they just light his face up. Oh, dude, it's so like, so terrifying and, really plays into the concept of the shape.
It's crazy, like learning more about the original Halloween and just how scrappy it was. Where like they started production and they didn't even know what his mask was gonna look like. They're like, I don't know, just like go find something. And like what they found was like they went to a store and like found a mask of
Shatner,
Captain Kirk from Star Trek, and then they just like modified it. And we're like, I guess it's this. And then like to think how many movies have stemmed from that, and like really, it's like the basis of almost all horror that we have now is like pretty hilarious.
Well, in terms of the modern slasher, I don't know if there's anything more influential and iconic. and exactly, dude. I mean, it's like, and you listen to John Carpenter talk about it, and it was like, there's so much love for that movie, and John Carpenter's just like, yeah, it was a job. You know what I mean? It's just like, what? Yeah. No, like you created, and his idea to make all of the sequels another slasher happening that occurred in a different location. Each sequel to itself was going to be something else that occurred on Halloween night. I can't believe they. I mean, I know they tried it with Revenge or Season of the Witch, which I think Season of the Witch is a fantastic movie, and even though it doesn't have Michael Myers, like the idea around it is kind of brilliant. And it really bums me out that they never kind of got to see that go to fruition and instead made, Halloween 4 and 5 are oof. Woof.
Which
Dude,
one has Paul Rudd?
Like
Paul Rudd's number 5, yeah?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
6.
I forgot about that.
6?
He's in Curse.
Yeah. Dude, I still hold it like I feel like H2O is like kind of underrated still. Like I feel like the end of that movie is like the best ending.
Yeah.
Like she just is like, no one's gonna do anything. This is up to me. I'm stopping this for good. And like the whole altercation at the end, where like she like still has this like pity and this connection to them, but like has to. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to top that.
Well, that's where I feel like him being her sister isn't the worst. I mean, yeah, it's retconned. Yeah. I get it, and it's only used as a motivation to have him come back to Haddonfield. But I don't know. Like, there's 3 different multiverses of Halloween movies now. You have the original timeline with Laurie, then you have the timeline with Jamie where they kill Laurie off screen, and then Jamie kind of becomes the de facto Michael Myers, and then they abandon that for number 5 and number 6, and then they go back to the original timeline of 1 and 2, and then H2O is the direct sequel. It's kind of the 3rd movie in that, and then Resurrection we don't even have to talk about, but then they have like the new 2018 and Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. So there's all these different timelines, but it's kind of cool. Like, it
don't forget
works.
Rob Zombie timeline as well, dude.
Yeah, so there's 4.
Which crazy. The first Rob Zombie one I absolutely loved, dude.
Dude, I won't even watch those again.
Dude, the first one was really good.
But all of the things that make, in my opinion, that's cool. Like I'm not like shitting on, because I get it. Like there's certain movies like for Halloween that I'll throw on that are more ambiance. Mm-hmm. But dude, all of the things that made Halloween and even Halloween 2 brilliant are like he doesn't get like he goes to the brutality of it, and that's not what that story is.
They're Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
Yeah. I don't know.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's like the Rob Zombie movies first.
Yeah. It's House of 1,000 Halloweens.
yeah, exactly.
I better head out, you guys.
All right, guys.
But,
hey,
this was awesome.
Yeah, this is great. I love I love downloading. We're gonna have to do this again for Christmas, which is coming up. So we'll follow this up. We'll do our favorite Christmas movies. And Vince, I think, or Vince and Dave, I think once Halloween ends, we can kind of put Unsolved Mysteries watch alongs to the burner until next year, and mix in some Lifetime movies, dude. I really want to watch Lifetime Christmas movies with you guys. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Anything with John Stamos, I'm in, dude.
Done. All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Good. All right.
Follow us on YouTube, or subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the fun socials, and listen to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Bye.
Skip internet time.